Dan Ives, Wedbush security analyst, joins us this morning, has a new note looking at the impact of a TikTok ban, something we've been trying to work our way through as we kept our eyes on the Hill. Dan, what do you, well, I want to ask you to give the calculus on passage in the Senate, but let's pretend this goes through. What happens?
Look, it's a game of high-stakes poker because, first of all, there's a retaliatory in terms of China. What do they do with Apple, Tesla in terms of that? You know, is this eventually acquired by big tech? What could the valuation be? Call it $100 billion plus. But then we believe 25% chance that this ultimately passes, just given the regulatory spider web that we see. Clearly, Meta benefits and others. But look, we believe this is a slippery slope. It's a watershed moment. You are playing a little with fire, going down this route. And we think this is, within the Beltway, it is you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And I think now we need to see how this all plays out over the coming weeks in this sort of 202 drama.
So would you be re-rating Meta, Snap higher or lower?
So we still believe here, based on all of our work in the Beltway and our advisors, 25% chance this ultimately passes. But with that said, it's incrementally positive for Meta, for Snap, for others. But I think we need to see how this all plays out over the coming weeks. But no doubt, if I go back a month ago, the fact that we're actually here and the House passes it, given the pressure that we've seen, it's a surprise. And I think it's a surprise in Beijing. Look, I just got back from China and in terms of overall Asia, and you see a lot of tensions that's rising. This is not what we want to see in Beijing.
So what does this mean for the potential retaliatory measures that China could place here? If it's at least a near-term positive for a Meta or a Snap, but then China retaliates against U.S. tech, then what could that look like?
Well, and for Cook, for Musk, that's the issue here. Right. And as we've talked about a lot, right now it's not roses and rainbows for Apple and for Tesla in China. The retaliatory is what you worry about here. Not for Meta and others, but specifically for Apple and for Tesla. And that's why we say you're playing with fire. In other words, this game of high-stakes poker, it's great for grandstanding here, but not just from a First Amendment perspective, it could have massive implications from a retaliatory in what's already in terms of that U.S.-China Cold Tech war.
Yeah, I mean, I brought this up yesterday. How would we react if China decided, oh, Tesla, you've got to divest your operations in China to BYD? We would not react well to that. That said, it's very much unclear, Dan, I should just point out from my own reporting, that there's any chance the Chinese would allow ByteDance to sell TikTok to another company, including the source code and the algorithm. That's not going to happen. And so it's very hard to figure out what will happen here. Before we let you go, though, I wanted to actually come back to Tesla and just have you respond to this Wells Fargo note today, questioning, obviously, significant discounts, profit per car coming way down, and their price target at Wells now, I think, 125.
Yeah, we strongly disagree with them. Obviously, we respect the analysts and the call, but I think right now overly negatively discounted in terms of the Tesla story. Look, near term, clearly units are going to be soft for 1Q. Just getting back from the region, I believe price cuts are now starting to subside in China. That's important. I think when you look through the next 6-9 months, we're going to look at this as more of a golden buying opportunity for Tesla over the next 2-3 years, especially with AI, rather than time to throw in the white towel. But for now, we all know, I mean, the New York City cab driver is bearish on Tesla here.
What does that mean? Sorry.
Look, everyone's bearish. The piling on's there. The bears are coming out of hibernation mode. I get it.
I see what you mean, yeah.
But we believe now is not time throwing the towel on Tesla and Apple. I think we see there 6-9 months now, stock's much higher.
Alright guys, this is the part of the video where I break down the stocks that were mentioned in the CNBC clip. Today we're going to be talking about all the China affected stocks like Apple, Tesla, Meta, and Snap. So first we're going to look at Apple. It's looking pretty bullish here. It's got a double bottom pattern forming. It is getting rejected here on the daily, but as long as we hold 165, it's going to be the spot to watch. I think it's going to bounce from here, head back towards the 21-day moving average and the 200-day moving average, and remain bullish, guys. But 165 is going to be that price to watch. Tesla snapping a range here today. It just broke 175, guys, and is now broken on its way at the bottom of the day at the lows. It is on its way down to 151. That is going to be the level to watch. That's the last support, and it's going to be a bloodbath on the way there. And as long as we can hold 151, that might be the bottom for the time being. If we can't, guys, watch out, because we're coming all the way down to $102. Meta is kind of in no man's land. They're on a huge gap up right now. They are still holding the 21-day moving average and looking bullish, But if they start to break this 21-day moving average, and especially if they break like 460, they're going to be trying to fill this gap to the bottom. So it might come all the way back to 400 or so. So the price to watch is about 460 on Meta. And Snap, guys, finally, they've been going sideways for about a year and a half or so. And they're also in no man's land. You think they can't go lower? They can definitely go lower. Let's see, just to recent lows, a good 35%. And if you think they can't go higher, just back to recent highs, guys, 45%. So I wouldn't touch this stock with a 10-foot pole. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the breakdowns. If you do, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you know somebody that likes these videos, share it for me so I can grow the channel. I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.